welcome back after that interesting match between Rampage and I totally forgot. It was Rep Cartel. Yes.
Now they're going to neg rep you because of that. You're just doomed.
I derped there. So that was a cool match. We finally saw kind of blaster in your face team. We want to bring a lot of damage work, and
work really well.
Yeah, pretty. Like I'm still surprised that the Vexers tanked so well.
Yeah, it turns out the key is rep drones and Inquisitors. That'll do the trick.
It's really smart. It's very cool stuff.
Yeah, it looks like that double rep frigate is really.
Really interesting thing about that, the choice to bring those frigates as well, and I think this will pop up in most setups that they show up in, but it's a different kind of, or at least it can be a very difficult target calling decision. I mean, in this case, they represent a lot of extra HP if you don't kill them, but because they're frigates, because they're very fast, have very low sig, they can be really difficult to kill. Like these Helas, like you said, with the Curators,
they don't have a tracking bonus.
It's just hard to pin them down. You need dedicated tacklers to go do it. I mean, if you have something like the Tyrannuses, we saw earlier, it might not be so bad, but in this case, it's just you're kind of stuck either way. It took them so much of the match to kill the Inquisitors, they just didn't have a chance.
You know what actually worked very well against those is Rapid Light Missile Launcher, Caracals, and Cerberuses. So the kind of thing that we saw from the We Heard guys.
Yeah.
That would clear off that and then clear off the drones and then potentially just be able to brawl for the rest.
Definitely.
It's actually pretty interesting, and that would be a fun match, I assume.
Yeah, with seeing the We Heard team against this team, that would be very interesting.
Yeah. So before we go into the next match, I'm going to jump and go over a couple of tweets that we have got on the hashtag NEO2 hashtag. The first one here is "Too Deadly for You," written in lead speak, which is awesome. Is posting a picture of himself watching a live symphony performance of the Beethoven's Fifth Symphony while watching the NEO. So it's a combination of old and new.
Does it have like an iPad out or something?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So then we have another one here from Stephanie Irvin saying, "Happy Mardi Gras from New Orleans, Louisiana. Enjoying watching the matches. Well, happy Mardi Gras to you too."
That guy at the symphony is probably bothering so many people by watching video games on his iPad during the symphony. You should stop doing that. You should go outside and watch the tournament.
No, I like it. It's fun.
Okay, all right.
There's probably a bunch of like bored guys in the row behind him that are very happy.
Maybe.
Is that a video game I can watch?
Group of players, like
I have no idea what's happening in that game.
So the last one I want to read out here is Jade Dragonis saying, "How does someone get into this kind of gameplay?" Referring to the tournament, and that's something that she wanted to talk about.
I want to start. I mean, Fozzie has a lot more experience with the tournament than me, but I just thought this is like many things in EVE, something that you just need to be part of a community, basically, to be part of. I mean, one of the cool things we've seen in this tournament in the New Eden Open is that all kinds of communities have made it, a good showing and at least have participated. We see incursion people, low-sec pirates, big alliances, small groups of, elite PvPers like Hydra or Turn Left or something like that. But the one thing they all have in common is that they're all just part of a community. I mean, they're all part of groups of players that are excited about the game. And so the first step usually to being part of anything in EVE is just find some people who like it and try to get involved.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I mean, like when I started, the first time I ever flew an Alliance tournament was as part of a Fail Heap Challenge team. Same kind of idea to Rep Cartel, and then it was sort of a pickup team, except unlike Rep Cartel, that team was terrible, and we kind of knew it was going to be terrible, and so we just went in with comedy setups. Then I got to come back to the tournament again after joining Pandemic Legion, and so at that point, that was a pretty established tournament team. I got to come in and give my own contribution to it, and I think that is really key. You can either join existing groups that already have a tournament presence, which a lot of people do. You see a lot of people gravitate to groups like Exodus or Hydra or PL that have tournament experience. And then you also can do it once you have a group. If the group wants to actually to start getting involved in tournaments, there's a lot of great ways to do it. One of the best ways is to join up with one of the very common tournaments run by the Syndicate Competitive League. It's a group that is made up entirely of players, so it's not run by us. We help them as best we can, and we actually give them a fair bit of support, but it is a player-run tournament, and they try to run about every month or so. They haven't run for the last little bit because they've been basically letting people train for the NEO, and they often leave a bit of time open for the Alliance tournament as well. But that's a great way to get involved in tournaments. It's done on our Singularity test server, so it's a little bit of a different environment than this, but it's still great practice.
Doesn't cost you a lot of ISK and so on. And also we're seeing new teams coming in, like Footwork.
Yeah.
It's just a new team that came in
there's-
and did really well. We Heard is a new team that just came in for this one and just did really well. So for me, and I know that We Heard have like a few low skill
Yeah.
point pilots that just wanted to be a part of the tournament and were a part of that community when they said, hey, let's do this tournament. And everyone's having a lot of fun, and they're doing really good. So like, don't be shy to just participate in the tournament. Just go for it.
And one thing that's cool is that a lot of times, whether teams actually do well or not in the tournament, like you said, your first team didn't necessarily do all that well. We have every year we have teams from parts of the game that support new players really well.
Yeah.
I mean, having teams from groups like Agony or RVB or eUni or any number of others. It's not a type of gameplay that only has long-term experienced players where you have to spend 3 years getting PL to let you in or whatever. I mean,
Who I could almost guarantee will be in our next Alliance tournament is Brave Newbies.
Yeah,
'Cause
exactly.
I'm sure they'll have a blast at it.
Yeah.
Now your chances of ending up on their team when they have over 6,000 people in their court may be a little slim, but yes, there's always representation from new player groups, which is great. So
Yeah. And
just go find people to hang out with.
So definitely, and for me, I mean, I've played in kind of test matches, and I played in eVegas when we had our sit and go format, and just playing in this tournament environment, in this bubble, in like a set 5v5 or 8v8 or 12v12 or whatever, it's just the adrenaline. It intensifies from maybe kind of that open world feeling, because you feel more pressure. You don't have anything else to blame than just yourself. If you
Can't be like, oh, they blobbed us.
yeah, you can't be like, I never had a chance there. You have to be like, well, I just got bested here, and that's a really hard thing to swallow. So like,
Believe it or not, you can actually have that attitude on TQ as well. Very few people do, I know. It's usually blobs, but I'm just saying.
no.
Yeah, the tournament environment is a very fun complement to normal TQ gameplay.
Yeah.
I mean, not only just flying in the tournament itself, but also tournament practice. If you're on a team with a group of people that like to practice for the tournaments, those practice matches are actually a lot of fun too, because it's basically on-demand small gang PvP with your friends. And it's a really, really great way to have some fun. I used to, in the lead up to the Alliance tournaments, generally just kind of live on Singularity, the test server, doing like every single night a tournament practice, and it was a lot of fun.
And I mean, like you said, in terms of it complementing normal gameplay, not only does normal PvP experience from fights, in normal TQ environment help you out in the tournament environment, but it works both ways. I'm sure people that spend night after night training for matches in this end up pretty sharp for PvP in the normal TQ environment. So
Yep.
a lot of value there, both ways.
Definitely. So I was just informed that we lost one of the teams for the next match.
Oh no.
So there's actually a bit of a delay,
Okay.
but that won't stop
Which
us.
team?
I'm not sure, unfortunately.
What
But-
is
Because it's
lost?
Providence Wizards versus
Where they
Warlords
go?
of the Deep. I guess they maybe just like forfeited, perhaps?
No.
It's
It's
oh, they disconnected? Or?
Misplaced them?
yeah, they just can't.
They're under a
it's-
couch
it's
cushion
just-
somewhere?
It's just yes.
Okay.
It's a technical
You should check
issue.
Providence.
Yeah, probably. They might be somewhere around there.
They are wizards. Maybe they deliberately disappeared.
They cast a spell of deceit, so you can't see them.
We don't want to fight Hydra today.
They somehow just like waved their hands and suddenly it changed around and they're fighting someone else. And
Yes.
someone else has to fight Hydra now. Yeah.
So, but that doesn't stop us. We can go over the bans for this match. So
We don't know where they are, but they have banned something.
Yes.
Great. What have they banned?
They banned the magical ships. Providence Wizards banned the magical ships of Ishtar and Dominic's.
Okay.
So no drones, please. While the Warlords of the Deep banned the Vargar and the Golem. So 2 Marauder bans coming in there, and that's
the first time
first
we've
time.
seen a
yeah.
double Marauder ban. Yeah.
Interesting stuff.
So they don't want Shield Marauders.
Switched arenas. I wonder if they knew. I mean, Hydra's one of those teams. Warlord's one of those teams that's often got a lot of intel on their opponents. They probably didn't necessarily need to go way out of their way in this match. I doubt they worked all that hard. But if they found out that Marauders were something they wanted to use, this could be pretty crippling for them. I doubt that Hydra wants to bring something that they feel would lose to Marauders. That would kind
Could
of
this be
surprise
that
me.
Hydra want to bring a Marauder themselves, but they don't want to have those 2 Marauders against them? Could they maybe bring a
it could-
Kronos or a...
Yeah, I think Rise's first instinct is what I consider most likely, that they got some kind of intel that the Providence guys wanted to use a Marauder, and they're just trying to throw a wrench in their plans. But it'll be interesting to see, because it is the sort of thing where if you ban the Vargur, someone could swap in a golem pretty easily.
Right.
The same way, like the other way around as well.
I mean, it's also the fact that, I mean, the Providence Wizards, they're going up against this Warlords of the Deep team, which is essentially Hydra. And a lot of the times you see this, so like, you bring out your Marauder when you're going against those big teams. So
if you feel it's something really strong, if you feel like you know, even though it's a potentially limited resource, if you feel like that's the best shot you have, then that's definitely something that we would expect people to do.
Yeah, and that then makes sense that they would ban out those 2 Marauders, just being like, no guys, you can't bring a Marauder against this because maybe we just don't want to fight a Marauder. So.
All right, teams are getting on the field, so
so
apparently
we're
we've located them. That's pretty good.
Yeah, there are no Marauders on the field. I can let you know that.
Okay.
So it's not Armor Marauders.
Well, maybe those bans actually threw a wrench in the plans of Providence Wizards, and that may have caused a delay or something.
I see Vigilance on the field. How do you feel about the Vigilant generally in the tournament?
I'm not a big fan of it. The Vigilant is a really powerful ship. It does a lot of damage, has a great 90% webs, but it's really fragile.
Yeah.
And fragile ships in the tournament, especially ones that cost 14 points.
I'm also, I guess it depends, but it seems a bit to me like the extra bonus webs actually don't get as much value here as they do in some situations on TQ. It's a strong bonus, but it's not like, I don't know, it's not like it's hard to catch things a lot of the time in the tournament, or at least it's not like once things are webbed, they get away.
It's also a bit redundant to have 3 of them.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you just
is that
rarely
what we're
looking
at?
Yeah, we're looking at 3 Vigilants on the Providence team. Yeah, and that double Sleipnir Curse single stealth bombers team we've seen a couple of times before.
Yeah, that has proven to be a really, really, really strong.
And it's proven to be really strong against this kind of setup. So.
Yeah. Earlier today, we saw this exact similar matchup to this. Although this blaster team does have an Nero, so those Vigilants though just aren't going to be in a tank. I think it's, and not that we consider that surprising for Hydra to have the advantage in this match. I mean, these are some of the most experienced tournament pilots.
Definitely.
If you guys are excited about Vigilance, though, make sure to watch the Features and Ideas thread. I'm doing a little work on pirate ships these days, and I've posted the frigates in the Features and Ideas section, so you can go check those out and give me some feedback if you want. And you know, the rest of them should be coming up soon, so we'll focus on 1.3 for now, but pretty soon we'll have some new pirate ships.
Yeah, in case anyone's confused, those aren't coming out at 1.3, right?
No.
Yeah, those are coming out in our summer expansion.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Match is ready.
Great.
And let's get predictions. CCP Fozzie.
Hydra. Warlords of the Deep.
Yes, Warlords of the Deep.
Again, all 3 of us agree. I say Warlords of the Deep as well. Let's see if they can indeed control the deep.
I'll do the